Sometimes you need to slow things down in order to kind of achieve those light bulb moments or those aha moments, and we're going to be doing just that today. With the help of one of Guthrie Trapp's recent videos, we are going to dissect chords to just two strings and hit certain chord tones to kind of achieve a musical thing, but at the same time we are trying to understand chords in the different inversions and triads and all that stuff. It's pretty fun, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. Again, we're in standard tuning, so go ahead and grab your guitar and let's get at it. My name is Keith. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so welcome back. You might notice that some stuff is already coming off the walls because I'm moving here in a couple weeks, actually. Less than a week, I think. So if you miss a video from me one of these upcoming weeks, I do apologize. I'm going to try my hardest not to miss a week, but, you know, life happens sometimes. Sweetwater link down below in the description, so if you feel inclined to hit that link before you make your Sweetwater purchase, I would really appreciate it. It throws a few cents my way, not really that much. All tabs, charts, diagrams, everything that's in this video is available for free on my Patreon. All you have to do is be a free member. And to those paid members, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It keeps me motivated beyond belief, so thank you. Alright, so before we get into the lesson, let's take a quick look at what Guthrie Trapp had. The link to his video is down below. Please subscribe to him if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and give it a watch.
Just those two strings. It's really crucial that we are taking these big chords and really reducing them down to 3 strings and 2 strings. That's really going to help you distill those chords and really shed some light, and light bulb moments are going to go off here. So, come on, rather. We don't want the light to go off. We want the light to come on. So watch this. So that pattern, half step, whole step in between, whole step in between, that works if I go. Now there's G.
Alright, so what Guthrie Trapp is doing here, first of all, it's in the key of C, and he's breaking things down to certain chord tones. Right? Alright, so if we're in the key of C, that would make our chords for a 1-4-5, that's the example we're using, a C here, the 4 would be an F, this is a C-shaped F, and then a G, a C-shaped G. Alright, so if we break those down, it kind of helps to understand the triads and the major scale, so let's take a look at all this stuff with diagrams, and hopefully you'll understand what he did there a little bit better, and we could all move forward happy, I guess. Alright, so we have a C. What is he doing here? He's hitting these two here. Where does that come from? If we look at the triad for that C, a triad consists of the 1-3-5, a major triad does, of a chord, and this is exactly that. The 5th fret of the G and B strings, 3rd fret of the high E string. Essentially, that's a C chord, right? But just distilled down to the core 3 tones of the triad. Now, what he's doing is just hitting these top 2 strings, and he's hitting what is this? The 3rd and the 5th. But how did we get there? It's all contingent, it all relies on a major scale. So let's look at that major scale. Alright, so if we count that out, let's actually count it out from this octave. That's a C, right? 1, 2, 3. Remember, that's one chord tone that we're going to hit. 4, 5. So when he says we're hitting the 3 and 5, we're hitting this string and that string, the 3 and the 5. So what do we do next? He's going up to this F, right? Let's look at the F. The triad is right here. It's a second inversion because the 5th is up here, and that's the lowest tone of the triad. And you notice that the C shape looks identical when you look at this triad to a D shape. That's because the C and the D are kind of interchangeable. It's just you're playing them a little differently where you are, but essentially if you distill down the top 3 strings by doing this, right, it's still an F chord. The easy way to kind of figure out this is an F, just imagine, hey, that's an E, that's how you tune your guitar. F is 1 fret above. That's our F chord, right? So he's going up here and hitting that. That would be the root and the third. All right, so now let's count out the major scale for this F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. Root, 1, no, root, 2, 3, right? So this is the root and the third. So back with the C, remember we're doing the third and the fifth. Now the root and the third. And we scooch up to the G. Remember, this is a C-shaped G right here. It's basically identical, the shape. You just scooch it up. Same exact concept. The root and the third, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. 2, 3. And if we move up one more time, what is this? Ooh, this is another kind of interesting thing. If you know what that is, what is this? Remember, A-shaped F. Remember, D, E, F. Same concept of the third and the fifth there. Third and the fifth of that F. So let's just hit those top two strings. That is the concept, and that's the idea here. Now, what can we do with this? The cool thing here is right here. We can come out of that and just roll through whatever pentatonic scale is associated with each shape. So let's take a look at this C diagonal pentatonic scale real quick. All right, so you'll notice right there that that C major scale fits right into that F. Right? So if we think about it, if we start here, we land on an F, but we could also leverage that by playing that pentatonic scale for that C. Right? It's just so much fun. I would encourage you to take a look there and just figure out the root of the chord that you're in, and you could roll with the pentatonic scale starting from that root. It's kind of easier just to go ahead and roll through maybe the diagonal pentatonic scale from any of the roots that you land on, and that'll kind of get you there. And then when you move forward a little further on in your journey, then you could start doing different things within the scale and targeting certain chord tones, which is a major key component to, I think, the way that Guthrie Trapp kind of plays a guitar. Right there, and then the seventh of that F is right there, is the third of that C. I know it's another quick one, but sometimes a little bit goes a long way. So once you digest that, hopefully we'll come back next week with something a little more complex to think about. And with that, I hope you have a good day, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Talk to you later. Thanks. I could have done way better than that.